Hello learners, I am Madhuri Kutta from Department of Education, Mahasi Dayal University, Hotel. With the greetings of the day, let us start our learning session today. Today, we are going to discuss about the concept and characteristics of research. We will further discuss various types of research in this session. And learning outcomes of this session will be, the learners will be able to define research, the learners will be able to understand the nature of research, the learners will be able to characterize research, and the learners will be able to classify research into various types. Learners will be able to explain basic, applied and action research in detail. So let us start our today's session. See, research is a structured and systematic process carried out towards the solution of a problem. It is carrying out a scientific method to find the solution of a problem, or we can say research is a process where activities are carried out systematically in order to find the solution of a problem. Activities are planned and executed systematically to find the solution of meaningful questions about any phenomenon. So research requires essentially scientific method of problem solution, structured and systematic process, and carrying out the activities. Research is based on objective, empirical and logical analysis and involves controlled observations and often lead to formulation of generalizations, theories and principles. Research goes beyond mere fact finding. It integrates the facts and organizes these facts systematically and gives valid descriptions of integrated facts. As per the Best and Kahn, the same famous researchers, the research has the following characteristics. First is, research is inclined towards the solution of problem. Research seeks to find the answers to the questions related to the phenomenon. It attempts to find the relationship among the variables related to a phenomenon. Second is, research works for the formulation of generalizations, theories and principles, and these generalizations, theories and principles help in prediction of future occurrences. In research, studies are conducted on the sample collected, but inferences are made about the characteristic of the target population. Sometimes, the statistical department gathers information and tabulates the data, but it is not research, as activities are not carried out systematically to find the solution of a problem. Research always demands empirical observations and exact description of it. Researcher formulates empirical data, data gathering tools, and select procedures that help in refining human observations, description and analysis of data. Next is, observable experiences and empirical evidences are always involved in research. Sometimes there are certain questions and phenomena which are interesting and appealing, but they are not based on observable experiences and cannot be. So they don't lend themselves to the research process. Next we can say, the research may involve collecting primary data from first-hand sources or using already existing secondary data for a new purpose or to find a different research question. Sometimes students are asked by a teacher to write a paper related to life of a prominent personality. The students are expected to read a number of related literatures and to synthesize the information in that paper. But this is also not research, as the data which is used is not new. Moreover, it is just a restating or rewriting what is already known, and nothing new is added to this. This is also not research. Next we can say, research activities may sometimes be random, but more often characterized by carefully designed and defined procedures and rigorous analysis. Research is not everyone's cup of tea. It requires expertise. Apart from the research skills and research aptitude, the researchers need to have updated knowledge of what is known in that specific area and how others have worked on it. He must have searched the related literature carefully. Moreover, the researcher needs to be patient and logical in his thinking. Next we can say, research involves systematic activities. It involves validation of procedures used by using various tests. Each and every step of research process needs to be objective and involves elimination of personal prejudices. The hypotheses framed in the research procedure are not based on personal biases. Rather, they should be based on review of related literature. These framed hypotheses are not proved or rejected, rather they are to be tested in the light of data gathered or the empirical evidences gathered. Next we can say, in research, earlier important research studies are deliberately repeated by using the same process and with different subjects and different settings. And time also to raise questions about results of earlier researches. Research always involves patient and unhurried activity. It involves great deal of patience and time at each step of research process. And research is minutely recorded and carefully reported. Each term and procedure is defined and described in details with careful documentation of references, minute recording of observations, and with scholarly presentation and publication of research results. So the crux is, the knowledge gained by research process is of highest order based on scientific method of analysis rather than relying on beliefs and untested hypotheses. So the researcher needs to develop scholarship, minute observations, integrity and attitude to spend time at each step of research process. Now let us see what are the various steps of conducting a research process. First is identification and selection of a problem. In the first step, the researcher selects a research problem from his area of interest or from his own field. In this step, he or she needs to be cautious while selecting the research problem, as the problem selected must be a question that can be answered through scientific method of analysis. Moreover, it needs to be clearly and precisely stated. Second, we can say is formulation of hypothesis, or it is the listing of stating probable causes. Carefully and formally stated hypothesis is the second step of research process. Hypothesis formulation needs careful review of related literature, which may be helpful in formulation of tentative generalizations about the phenomenon under consideration. Formulation of hypothesis aims at developing functional relationship between the variables. Next step is collection and analysis of evidence. The hypotheses which we have framed in the earlier step are tested in the light of collected evidences through the observation, testing and carrying out the surveys and experiments. Next step is verification of the formulated hypothesis. After the collection and analysis of evidences, the formulated hypotheses are verified whether the result of the analysis support our formulated hypothesis. Next is arriving at conclusion and findings and reporting the results. In the light of the result of the analysis and verification of hypothesis, the conclusion is arrived. The rejected or accepted hypothesis, both the cases, give direction for stating the findings. After discussing the steps of conduction of research process, now let us discuss the various types of research. Research can be classified into various types on the basis of criteria of classification. First criteria are on the basis of purpose of the researcher. If the researcher wants to generate new knowledge only for the sake of knowledge development, then it is called basic research. And if the researcher wants to improve the process or test the application of theoretical concepts in the context of real problem, then it is called applied research. And if the researcher wants to have the solution of real problems faced by the practitioners, then it is called action research. So let us discuss all these three types of research in detail. First is basic research. In this research, the researcher wants to add on for the existing core of knowledge and mainly concerned with the formulation of a theory. Generally, the researcher uses the empirical evidences or data for the formulation, expansion or evaluation of the theory. It is also named as pure research or fundamental research. The spirit of basic research is inspired by the first is basic research. In this research, the researcher wants to add on for the existing core of knowledge and mainly concerned with the formulation of a theory. Generally, the researcher uses the empirical evidences or data for the formulation, expansion or evaluation of the theory. It is also named as pure research or fundamental research. The spirit of basic science is inspired by the physical sciences. Basic research follows rigorous analysis. The primary concern of basic research is generation of new knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. Basic research has very little concern with the social usefulness or practical application of the finding. The primary concern is generation of knowledge. Second is applied research. For the solution of immediate, specific and practical problems, applied research is carried out. This type of research is carried out in relation to real problems and in the conditions they exist. The objective of adding knowledge to the already existing core of knowledge is at the secondary place. It has the same characteristics as that of basic research. Whereas the methodology the applied research follows is not as rigorous as that of the basic research. The findings of the applied research are not evaluated in terms of universal validity, rather these are evaluated in terms of local applicability. Both the basic and applied research are committed to follow high level of scientific objectivity. However, the conditions under which the two researchers carry out the research process may vary in terms of control and precision. In basic research, control and precision are achieved by laboratory techniques. But this precision is gained at the cost of relevance of the findings or the generalizability of the findings. In applied research, the researcher conducts research in the complex psychosocial environment which is natural. Because of the dynamic psychosocial environment and involvement of multiple variables, the control and precision required is not as high as that of the basic research. It is seen that certain applications are made out of the theories generated by the basic research. For example, if a teacher applies the theories of learning in the classroom situation, so the educators need to be acquainted with the findings of the basic research. The basic research also depends on the findings of the applied research also for building and testing of the theories. So we can say that both these two types of research are interdependent. Third is action research. This term action research was given by Corey in 1953. This research is undertaken by the practitioners to improve their practices. In the entire process of research, the practitioners perceive, understand and evaluate the situations and then do the systematic analysis. It's a type of applied research, whereas action research has relevance to classroom conditions and applied research deals with the practical problems of more complexity and greater applicability. For action research, the researcher may be a practitioner in the education setup like a teacher, principal or headmaster, and the teacher educator may be. Action research tends to bring improvement in the functionaries, like if a teacher realizes that there are some students in the class who are not doing well in the mathematics. The teacher guesses there is something wrong somewhere but not clear about the reasons or the cause of non-performance. In order to find the cause, the teacher may undertake the action research. Let us discuss some of the characteristics which make action research different from the applied research, as both these two terms sound similar. First is, action research is carried out because of the felt need due to dissatisfaction from a situation by the educational practitioners. Action research has specific implications for improvement of dissatisfaction of the situation. The action research clearly aims at achieving the desired goal. Action research is of small scope in nature if compared with the applied research. Its scope lies with the improvements in the practices related to a particular practitioners only. Action research deals with the real problems faced by the practitioners and aims towards the solution specifically. Another important characteristic of action research is it is contextual in nature, means the teacher of particular institution may feel a problem but the same problem may not be observed by the teachers of other institutions. So friends, today we discussed many various types of the research and some characteristics of the research. So let us sum up what we have discussed today. We have discussed about the concept of research, its nature, detailed characteristics, and then we studied various types of research. Based upon the purpose of the research is classified into three main types like basic research, applied research and action research. Hope you all have enjoyed this learning session. Thank you.